Hey there. Welcome back to the English Hour. I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to talk about something that almost every English learner struggles with: fear. That strange, invisible barrier that stops you from speaking English even when you know the words, even when you understand perfectly. I'm talking about the fear of making mistakes, of sounding silly, or of being judged. And today, I'm going to show you how to break through that fear and speak English confidently. I want you to imagine this for a moment. You're in a group of people, maybe at work, school, or even online. Someone asks you a question in English, and your heart starts racing. You feel that pressure, your hands get sweaty, your mind goes blank, and suddenly your tongue feels frozen. Sound familiar? I've been there too. I remember my first time speaking English in front of a group. I could feel every eye on me. I stumbled over my words, and I froze. I left that conversation feeling frustrated and embarrassed. But here's the thing: I kept trying. I didn't give up, and over time, that fear slowly disappeared. The first thing you need to understand is this: fear is normal. Everyone feels it. Even native speakers get nervous before speaking in public or in important situations. The difference between someone who speaks confidently and someone who freezes is not talent, it's how they handle fear. And the good news is, fear is something you can train yourself to overcome. One of the most powerful ways to reduce fear is to change your mindset about mistakes. Most learners think that mistakes are bad, that making one will make people judge them. But mistakes are actually your best friends. Every time you make a mistake, your brain learns something new. Every time you stumble over a word, you are one step closer to speaking confidently. Think of it this way: the more mistakes you make, the faster you grow. And honestly, people rarely notice mistakes as much as you think. Most of the time, they are focused on what you're saying, not on how perfectly you're saying it. Another way to conquer fear is to start small and build confidence gradually. You don't have to give a perfect speech or hold a long conversation on the first day. Start by talking to yourself in English. Describe your morning, narrate what you're doing while cooking, or even think out loud in English. Then, try speaking to a friend or a family member in English for a few sentences. Every small success, every short conversation will build your confidence and chip away at your fear. Let me share a story. There was a student I worked with named Arif. He was terrified of speaking English. He wouldn't even say one sentence in front of his classmates. So we started with just 2-minute exercises at home. He would talk about his favorite movie or his day without worrying about mistakes. At first, he stuttered and paused constantly. But over a few weeks, he started speaking longer sentences. He felt proud. Then, he spoke in front of his classmates. And guess what? His classmates were impressed, not critical. That small practice at home made all the difference. Fear disappeared because he had practice and small wins to rely on. Another tip that works wonders is visualizing success before speaking. Before you start a conversation or answer a question, take a deep breath and imagine yourself speaking clearly, confidently, and without hesitation. Picture the other person listening and smiling, not judging. This simple mental exercise prepares your mind and reduces the panic that fear creates. Athletes do it all the time, and you can use it too for English. Also, remember that preparation reduces fear. If you know you'll have to talk about a specific topic, practice what you'll say in advance. Prepare key phrases, useful sentences, and even a few stories or examples. The more prepared you are, the less fear you'll feel because your brain already knows what to do. But be careful not to memorize word for word. Fluency comes from speaking naturally, not reciting like a robot. Think of your preparation as a safety net, not a script. Now, here's a tip that often gets overlooked. Surround yourself with supportive people. Being around encouraging people who celebrate your progress rather than criticize mistakes makes a huge difference. Join English speaking communities online, attend language meetups, or talk with friends who understand your goals. When your environment feels safe, fear loses its power. Finally, I want to share one mindset shift that changed everything for me. Focus on communication, not perfection. Your goal is not to speak perfectly, it's to express your ideas, to connect with people, and to enjoy speaking English. When your focus shifts from, I must be perfect, to, I want to communicate, fear disappears naturally. Mistakes don't matter. Hesitation doesn't matter. What matters is that you're trying and you're speaking. So, here's what I want you to do today. Start small. Talk to yourself in English for a few minutes. Visualize success. Prepare a short sentence or story to share with someone. Remember that mistakes are learning opportunities, not failures. And remind yourself fear is normal, but it doesn't have to stop you. Speaking English without fear is a journey, not a single moment. Every time you try, every time you speak, you build courage. Every small conversation chips away at the fear until one day you'll realize you can speak English freely, confidently, and without hesitation. Thank you so much for watching the English Hour. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. And I'd love to hear from you. What's your biggest fear when speaking English? Comment below and let's tackle it together. Remember, fear is temporary, but the confidence you build lasts a lifetime. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and speak English without fear.